Hello and welcome to Perspective. My name is Kate Kendi Wanjiko.
And I'm Judy Njogu.
So I'm so excited to present this to you guys. It's basically our mother-daughter conversations having a different platform. Like, I'm so happy we're finally doing this, Mom.
It's been a long time coming.
It has.
It's been a long time coming.
For those of you who are not aware of our mother-daughter conversations, it's something that we used to do on my channel, but we will link it down in the description. And if you're listening through any podcast, you can find them on Kate Kendi on YouTube. There's a playlist called Mother-Daughter Conversations. Yeah. So this is like better and more refined in a way.
It's just more.
It's just more, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So why perspective? Perspective because it's basically our point of view, our experiences on certain topics as a mother and as a daughter. So we're just offering you guys that. We're not...
And the birds are like, wow.
Yeah, so we are basically offering our perspective on certain issues that affect mothers and daughters, our life experiences on different topics, also as a mother and daughter.
Yes.
Yeah, so guys, I'm so excited.
But as she says, perspective, it's ours. It doesn't mean that if you have a different view,
that it's wrong or
it's right.
Or we're asking you to do this that way.
This is my take as Judy Njogu, as Kate's mom, and this is her take as my daughter and as a daughter.
Yeah.
And as a daughter.
It's basically my take as Kate Kendi.
Yes.
And as a daughter.
Yes.
That is basically what this is. And I'm so excited. The topics that we'll be handling, I think, are things that people go through every day.
Yes.
And today's topic has been heavily inspired by things that happened over 1 or 2 months ago. The first thing that I saw was actually an article that I found in the Standard about a mother who was found 9 months after she had died.
Was it 9 months?
9 months. So I'm just going to read a snippet of the article. The article is from the Standard and it was done by Kamore Maina and Francis Odi. And the title is Mystery of a Mother's Death at a Home Discovered After 9 Months. On June 2nd this year, at a homestead in Thika Landless area, crime scene investigators from the Directorate of Criminal Investigation, basically DCI, discovered a badly decomposed body. It was lying next to a carcass of a dog. Investigations by the DCI have now revealed that it took 9 months for the family of the deceased to discover that their mother, whom they had been sending upkeep money, was long dead. It is said the son, a senior Kenya Airways pilot, had put a bank standing order for the monthly cash transfer. But the police are yet to find out the calls and the transaction data to determine who she last spoke to and whether the money was withdrawn. The mother was called Jerry, who was a retired teacher and a businesswoman who lived alone at the home. She had no workers at her homestead and relied on her son for survival. Another son who lived 300 meters away from Jerry did not know that she was dead until that June 2nd, when the police from Makongeni informed him. Police officers had been informed by a granddaughter that Jerry was missing from her home. The granddaughter, who lives in South Africa, had traveled home to visit her grandmother. On reaching home in Thika, that's when she was shocked that her grandmother was not at home. And I remember some parts of the article also saying that she even had chickens. The chickens were even dead.
Does not take care of them.
Yeah, like so many things had overgrown. Like, how crazy is that?
9 months is a long time.
9 months is a crazy long time. There was also another story, or rather documentary that I watched. So on 7th August 2023, BBC I documentary was released. And the title was Betrayed, Elderly Care Exposed. And it was done by Jerry Mwangi. So basically it was expose on how the elderly were being treated so harshly at this particular home. And I remember when I was watching that documentary, my eyes, I was actually having balancing tears because I don't understand why you would leave your parents in such a place to experience such things, because there were some scenes where you could see they were actually caning an elderly woman because she left the home. Like literally there are 2 people are holding her and they're beating her. They're just making fun of her. They're beating her. Another elderly man had a skin condition, ma'am, and 2 weeks it wasn't helped. He even gave one of the workers their money, took him to the hospital, but the worker basically ate the money. And every time the elderly man would be like, okay, can you take me? She'd ignore him. And one of the people who were investigating, who were undercover, basically said that that place was hell because of how bad they were treating the elderly. You could see that the staff did not have empathy for any of the elderly people that were there. And I'm just like, have we gotten to a point where we have just decided to abandon our parents? Or rather, when mom, you hear these stories, what does that make you feel?
I don't know where to start with, but I was thinking this one of the elderly home. I'm thinking at some point people have really become busy. I don't know if it's artificial or people are just minding themselves more. So, there's a thin line between self-care, that I don't want to be bothered by anyone, this is my life, and being a child, or being you belong to somebody, like there's a parent you need to take care of, like a child and a parent, both of you need to take care of each other. That is what I think. But if you're also very busy and you hear like this one's, some of them you might find their kids are out of the country, so they're not here to take care of their parents. And if they leave other people, sometimes you leave people to take care of your parents in your home and you're paying everything and they still abuse them.
Sure.
So it's just a very big shame that this was actually a church I go to, PCA. And I was like, first of all, these people get paid. The church gives everything. And then I also saw the things that are taken by the church. Some of these people still, they don't give to. So church is supposed to be, when you hear it's for a church, there's some kind of security you're supposed to feel, especially if you're a Christian. Just like if it's something Muslim based, you'd be like, if you're a Muslim, you'd be like, there's empathy, there's love, there's some expectation. So this, first of all, was a very big shame. I am thinking like if I talk like a child, because I am a child to someone, if I was to take my mom to a home care like that one, I'd probably take her to a PCA one, because that's our church. My mom got married in PCA, or a Catholic one, because I believe they will give the best. So for me as a child, I believe my mom is being taken care of, my dad is being taken care of. So I don't know what's going on behind that. So probably I'd have to talk to her more. Yeah. And it also depends on how I relate with my parent again at the same time. And this comes to the first scenario you said, because I keep saying I have a strained relationship with my mom. It's not the same way that I have with Kate. Kate, we speak every freaking day, either on video or call, but somehow every day we'll speak. There's a text, there's something, like there's communication. So we know everyone is fine. My mom will speak once in 3 months, and then we'll speak for like a month continuous, like weekly. And then it phases out, and then we don't speak for like 6 months. But I'm not excusing myself and saying I'm a better person than the rest of the children. But I know I usually, at that time, I'm communicating with my brother and my sis. So we will chat. And even in our chat, I will make sure I ask,
about your mom.
Madhe ako aje? How is mom? Is she well? Because if there's any issue, I know they're always communicating with their other 3 siblings. There's always communication like every day. So if there's anything that is going wrong, I'll know even before I ask. But I make sure at least just to put it in there. I'm like, mama kwaje. So even if you're not in good terms, I will, if anything wrong happens, I'm that person who will be out there. Like, even if, forget even parents, even if you're my enemy and you're going through something I can sort, I will be there. Nitajituma. So it disheartens me to know that someone was living like 300 meters from their mom, and they did not know for 9 months. 7 or 9 months?
9 months.
That's a time someone, mtoto ashazaliwa, by the way.
Yeah, a new child is born.
Like, that's crazy. The body was decomposing. Inje, so you the dogs, nobody. And then even this one who was sending money, at least like a call. So meaning there was a very big disconnection between the children and the mom, that all the kids were not speaking to her for 9 months. All of them. If it's one child, maybe understandable, but...
I think even part of the article was saying there was a family feud. But then I'm like, even if there's a
what was it about?
Feud, they didn't really explain. But that's crazy to me. As a daughter, I don't see myself taking you to a home.
Your problem is the home.
No, I'm looking at both situations. I cannot take you to a home. And if I'm not taking you to your home and you probably have your own, because I know for you also, like your retirement plan in a way is to be in Ushago with your farm, taking care
My
of
farm na
things.
kuna river pale.
If you're in good health, I know of course you're living your life, but I will always make sure I'm coming. Or always make
Or
sure that I'm
sending
calling
somebody
you.
if you're out of the country. At
Yeah,
least just to see.
somebody to. So as a daughter, I don't understand how bad it could get, but
Do you
I do
think
understand.
it can get bad enough in a way that we'll ever reach that we can
between
speak to
us,
each other? Do you
I
think
don't
it can
think
ever?
it can get to that.
Because even if we don't speak to each other, maybe it'll be like a week maximum. And that happened a very long time ago. And from that, we learned new things. We're like, no matter how angry you are, at least just know that this person is fine.
So for the story of the mother basically being abandoned by her children and one of them at least offering financial support, I think there was a disconnect definitely within the family, and I don't understand
big
how
one.
it got to that point, but I do understand, especially right now, the way we separate people. There's millennial parents and there is boomer parents. And one thing we know about boomer parents, they don't take accountability for what they did. They were not the best people to bring up their children, because their children now are actually now parents as well, so they do realize that there were some mistakes, but the boomer parents will not take accountability for that
At all.
So we know boomer parents, most of them were not the best.
But I guess they did what they thought was best.
At that time. So I think maybe the mom probably did something that was very wrong in the children's eyes.
You know, I'm imagining that parent, that mom, is about my mom's age. Because if they have big kids who are so the kids are about my age, and then the granddaughter is your age, that should be right. But think about it. You, first of all, when was the last time you spoke to my mom?
I don't even remember. I don't even think we've spoken this year.
You have only on my phone when you are at home and my friends were there, and then but you talking to them directly, it's because there's already a disconnect between me and mom.
It's like
a chain link.
We've just realized that the mom was found by her granddaughter who was traveling from South Africa.
Exactly.
So it seems it didn't really go like past, because she's the one who found. The granddaughter is one who found.
At least, but it still looks like there was still no communication. The same way I'm saying, like, you don't speak to my mom. So if anything happened, unless you know from me,
I would not.
Or your auntie, you would not know.
So what is causing that?
Like, I'm imagining at their age, me, I've had fights with my mom. Up to now, we still have a lot of unresolved issues. And maybe if I was hard-headed, because my mom is those, the boomer parents she's talking about is like, this is what I did, deal with it. That's your problem. Don't ask me questions. What are you asking? Haven't I provided everything for you? So it'd be like, Mom, I want to know a bit of background. I want to know what really happened to my father, because I was raised by a stepdad. What happened? She'd be like, excuse me? Why? Yet she's the only person who holds that truth. But when you ask her, she takes it like, why are you asking?
You're questioning my parenting. You're questioning me.
Are you questioning my parenting? Why do you want to meet your dad? What is he going to give you that I didn't give you? They don't understand that at the end of the day, as a human being, I want to know my heritage. I want to know where I've come from. I want to know probably why do I behave like this? Why do I look like this? Why don't I look like the others? You understand? But for them, it's like, it's my way or the highway. So probably there was something like that, and both of them were like, hey, Mom, I mean, we can't, nowadays, because me, it'll reach a point, I'm like, I can't deal with this, I'd rather avoid it. That's the kind of parent me and my age mates, most of them are at. So we just like ni sawa, tusisumbuane sana, I love you from far. If we speak, we speak. If you go quiet, we go quiet. So I'm thinking probably something like that happened.
And I think actually that happens for both situations. It's a thing of children are finally free from their parents.
Yes, and they're not feeling that responsibility. Like, I have to be there.
They're feeling free. So they've run. They've gotten the freedom and they've run. So that's why they're like, you know what, as long as I've left you somewhere, I know you're being taken care of. That's enough for me. They just want to
provide money and you're good.
They just want to be away from their parents. And I think there really should be a way to communicate so that we can find some communication between like boomer parents and their millennial children, or even millennial children and their Gen Z children. Like there's so much that can you think you're doing your best, but it's probably
It's
not
still
the
not
best.
your
Yeah.
best.
I think there is just no communication between both
Yeah. Yeah.
setups. But even for like the home and the way it was, those ones they were literally left there to die.
Yeah.
They were literally left there to die. And I know even
In both scenarios.
yeah, Hilary, I know you worked at a home. How was that experience working at a
How
home
long?
for elderly?
Yeah, I worked there for 3 months, and
In Kenya?
yes, in Kenya, it was okay. Let's not mention names, but at that time it was very. You can see the loneliness in these people, and I think I only ever saw 2 or 3 people getting visited by, their parents, or not their parents, I mean their children, and some of these people were sad to the point of suicide. That's how lonely they were feeling. They were like, "Why are you keeping me alive? I would just rather die." So it's very hard when you're there because at the end of the day, they have seen way more than we have, and they're very hard-headed. You can't really tell them anything. And some people may defend and say the nurses act like this to defend themselves from them, but at the end of the day, it's just very sad. It's just like put it there and forget. Like people are telling themselves, or rather, what the head nurse told me is the families justify. I have put you there and I'm paying, so I am doing more than
My best, yeah.
yeah, more than what other children.
Yeah. Which is also somehow true because some will not give financial support. They will not even check on their child. It's like your best child can take care of you. Leave me alone.
But
Yeah.
I think the thing about homes, I know even while I was listening to the documentary, you have to have gone through education for that. You must have gone through a course. You just can't taking
be
care
made.
of the elderly is not an easy job, and it's not for everyone. And I think that's where
Even for
there
children, the
was a
same way.
disconnect between the people, the staff working there. They don't feel any empathy completely. They're just
Yeah.
like, it's just old age. Do you even know how bad they are? I think even Hilary, you brought that up. The nurses also kind of disattach and are like, first of all, this is not even my parent. Let's start there. This is not my parent. So and since they're very hard-headed,
it's a job.
it still goes with them until old age.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they find it so
Oh,
hard
yeah.
to take care of such a person.
Yeah.
But I think, like the documentary had said, you do need to go for courses for that. You just don't give anyone that job of taking care of elderly people. And I do understand for some people, they take their parents there because they also financially they can't really take care of their parents or have them in their houses, which I understand. And there are good homes, but there are also very bad homes as well.
But they are good homes.
Yeah,
and
they
also they cost something.
Yeah, they do cost something, but they find it cheaper to take care of their parents there than having them at home.
At home alone.
Yeah. So, Mom, do you fear that we'd take you to a home? Do you think we'd
I've
take
not reached to that point. I'm not that old, first of all. Even when I'm 80, I'll be like, excuse me. But I'm imagining this parent is saying she was a teacher.
Mom, I'm asking you.
First of all,
Do you think we'd take you to a home? Would you want to go to a home?
hey, that's a hard question. I've not thought about it. Where? Yani nimefika that point I'm being as if I'm going to go to a home and I'm thinking I'm
No, I
all
think-
here
'cause I
and
think-
sexy and Mama Kate.
Because I think that's the conversations that people should be having with their parents now. So that when they are older,
way earlier.
yeah, so that you know what you're going to do. If you start having...
Maybe you can ask me this question in the next 20 years.
just start thinking, like for now.
In the next
At
20.
this point, what do you think? No?
It depends. Am I being taken to a good home? I'd rather
course,
be in a home if it's a good home.
At this time...
I'd rather be in a home if it's a good home.
So you don't have
Because
to
they are
go to
good
a home.
homes. They're good homes. Instead of being taken where I say that I'm going to retire and all that, I'm alone. My neighbors don't care. Because that means this lady, there must have been a bigger issue because even your neighbors, and in Geshagi, in Shags, it's not like Nairobi.
People communicate.
In
There's a
Shags,
village
people,
thing.
someone will pass by your home no matter whether you're there or not. Someone will pass by their workers. I mean, there's
was
more
an
to
issue.
that
There was
story.
more, yeah.
There's more to that because if it's Shags, people will pass by and see you. But even if they pass by, maybe it's shortly and then they leave.
But Mom, you still have not answered. So you'd want to go to a good home.
If where I am, I'm alone. If I don't have like a worker with me or when you have a worker and things running busy like my worker and
'cause
she show what I saw, there were people running around. There are workers there. Like people take this. There are people to take care of her as much as she's there. She's like
There has
there's
to be
life.
somebody around.
There's
'Cause
life around you.
The lady who died and was found after 9 months.
Meaning she
There
was
were no
alone.
workers. There were no workers.
So
She was
no
doing
workers,
everything herself.
But still, no workers, no friends, no neighbors. And it's
Okay, the
chance.
neighbors also kind of realized.
That's
I
what I'm
don't know.
saying. There's more to this story than there's
Maybe
more
she
to this
just
story.
wanted to be alone, but I think it's very sad. I don't think it should ever get to that position.
That's very sad.
It's very sad. I think us who have time right now, I think we can make a big difference within our families, especially with our parents. We should be having such conversation, thinking about what they want in the future. And even if you have like an irreparable kind of situation, you can still find a way to take care of them well.
Yeah, you can take care of them even from far.
From far, yeah, you can take care of them from far.
You can have
That's
someone
it.
trusted
And
to have a
sending-
look, to
Clearly,
check them.
sending money is not enough. Money
it's
is
not
enough,
financial.
yeah. If you cannot do it, employ somebody who'll be looking at your mom, giving you updates in case you're at a point where you don't want to see them, you don't want to communicate with them. And I'm happy I've asked you now. But for me, clearly, kuna venye tunakupeleka home. If
I would,
have
of course,
the
I'd prefer to stay home, but
if I have the
this is if you have.
financial
If you don't
ability,
have, then what happens?
Of course, and maybe you're really sick, we'd hire a nurse and have workers around.
But
and
what if you
making
don't
sure
have the
we
financial
communication.
capability of that?
If we don't have that's when we start looking for homes. Or rather, I start thinking of how I'm going to be able to take care of you later now.
Yeah.
Starting to, open a small kitty where I'll be putting money separately just in case anything goes
I think what
wrong.
you're saying is very advisable because even for me, I've never thought of that about my mom. I'm thinking, yes, she's in the States. She's making more money than
She's
I am.
healthy,
She should send me some dollars, first of all. Let's start there. But the dollars are not coming through. But at the end of the day, I still feel responsible for her.
Yeah.
So it's smart what you're saying. I wish I was in a position to speak to my siblings and they would be able to understand what we're discussing right now and tell them, listen, maybe every month, even if you are able to do 1,000 or 500, I'll do what I know would work at the end of the day. We start putting some money for mom just in case this happens and then she has to come home and we have to take care of her because first of all, mom pesa yako iko wapi? She needs to tell me her money so we can take care of her with her money.
Yeah.
But you understand what I'm saying? If all children about my age, I am 46 now. So if you're in that age between 35 and 55, and you're capable and you're working, I think you should have a kitty or something just put aside for your parents,
yeah.
to be honest. And most of us, we probably have one parent. And even if you have both of them, maybe one is active.
Yeah.
Just have something on the side for them. I know it's hard because at the moment I'm thinking Ryan is my priority now.
Yeah.
Myself, I've just started like living life and thinking maybe if I want to visit a place, I should not think about it. I just go and enjoy my money. But then again, I still need to think of my parent. I just don't have Ryan. I have Kate and I have my mom to think about because those are the three people that I feel responsible for. As much as my mom has her own money and she has her children, I still think it will still fall back on me.
Of course it'll fall back on the children. And I think also if there's a parent listening, you should have this conversation with your children. Tell them if anything goes wrong, this is what I want to be
this
done.
Is what I
This is because now you're of sound mind and you're thinking well.
And you're seeing how things are happening. You should, as a parent, you should also talk to your kids and tell them, listen, me, when I reach a certain age and I can't be able to take care of myself, I don't want to be a bother to you. Because I've also seen such parents, they're like, I don't want to bother my children because I was supposed to take care of my children, not the other way around that my children start taking care of me. So I can imagine they feel helpless because when I sit here and think that Kate is working so hard so that she can take care of me, I'm thinking she should be able to take care of herself. And if she decides to have children, she should be thinking of herself and her children or her closest family right now. And me, I should not be a priority because for me, it's when my child is happy, I am happy. But you see, there's that. Job. Exactly. Like I've done my job and I'm happy. And when she's settled, like now I'm usually very happy knowing that Kate, she can go anywhere and I'm set. Like I don't have to think like, oh my God, has she eaten? Is she happy? Is someone hustling her? I'm just happy knowing that she's okay. And I think that is the goal for every parent. But I never think, my mom, how is my mom doing this? Where do we go from here? what happens if anything happens to her.
Oh, you've not really thought of it. I'm glad this conversation is making you think of it.
I'd be like, but at the back of my head, let me tell you what, maybe something I'm not told you. Even moving to that house, the way everyone is like 3 bedrooms and all that. I'm thinking, you never know. My mom might come and she'll be like, hey, Werimo, I have to, she has to be close to me because she's the only now person I know I'm responsible for, and Ryan. So I have the 2 bedrooms because I know probably just in case. Anything. That's how I would keep that house or move to a 3-bedroom house even from now, because I have a room for
even
Kate,
for me.
And no, for Ryan, and there's I don't think of Kate so much in that light, but I'm like someone who might need me like my mom. The person who would need me mostly right now is Ryan and mom. So I'm like, when I have an extra room, if anything happens and I'm capable, they'll come and live with me.
Yeah, but I'm saying even for me, even where I'm living now, we are in a 2-bedroom.
Yeah.
And there is a bed there. This is just in case, because I know I have siblings.
Yeah.
I have you.
You have a sibling, not siblings.
I do have actually. Mom, come on now. Guys, I have siblings. We don't have any relationship, but I do have other siblings.
Wait a minute. Excuse me, Kate.
Why are you shouting?
Which siblings? Which ones?
Anyway.
I think it is on crack.
As I was saying.
You have siblings?
Okay, my sibling, I need to have that
Ryan
open just in case.
Ryan Kilonzo Mbeki. Thank you.
It's just, that's what I was trying to say, guys, before. I was rudely
Before she put S in the sibling.
Yeah. So basically, I think let's have those conversations with our parents, those of us who can now.
Yes.
For those of you, imeshaisha, just do the best that you can. And if you're going to take your parents to a home, do research on the home. And make sure you're trying to visit them and asking them how they're doing in that home as well. Let's start planning for our parents' future right now, for those of us who can.
And those who have parents, existing parents. And if you don't have maybe the person, then it means you are the parent people are talking about. Also, if you're a parent, start discussing this. I believe you have one child that you're very close to, or all of them. It's important to speak to them about these things and tell them, this is what I would expect, this is what I'd want. And then, since now the people like us and Akinekate are able to speak up, they'll tell you, you know what? Mom, yes, we know you want this, but this is better. We've researched more. This is better now, because times change and things change.
And also there's the aspect of insurance.
Yeah. What about insurance?
What when you are leaping insurance?
Insurance, yeah.
See, for you as a parent as well, are you paying insurance? Because also as a parent, I don't think you want to be a burden to your children.
You remember when my brother's wife was sick? Do you know the insurance paid for her 80%? And that is NHIF.
Yeah. Get what insurance you can get.
Yeah, what you can afford. What works
it's going to help. It's going to help you. It's going to help your family. It's going to help everyone. It's going to be easier. And I know there are different insurances, and I know NHIF, it doesn't really work for everyone. We've seen that discourse on Twitter just the other day. So just get what you can at this point.
But get insurance.
Get insurance. So I think also there's the aspect of bad children.
Yes.
Because I think in our discussion we've been mentioning about the way your parent was not a good parent to you and you decided to separate. In most cases, that's what we usually talk about.
Yeah.
But what about the bad kids?
Yeah. And these bad kids, most of them are the ones who have entitlement. They feel entitled to certain things.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you've provided, given them good...
The basics,
even gone above and beyond. You love them, give them freedom, everything that we think is good parenting.
Yeah.
But...
you don't know where to... I think you also don't know where to cut the line.
They grow up and they completely change. They're different people. They don't want anything to do with their parents. They actually literally poison their parents, waiting to take the land and to take everything from them. There's just some things that you can't fix. I just think they're just bad human beings, like you had said. They're just people who are bad.
Some people are just bad.
Or people who have also mental illnesses.
Yeah.
Because that's how we have people, psychopaths. You might have loved your child, given your child everything, but they have a mental illness.
Yeah.
So they're like, you know what? I'm going to murder people. I'm waiting for you to die, actually, so I can take everything that you have.
And mostly you find after they take the squabble and then they become chokoras because they're not able to handle that.
Yeah. Because we've had so many land disputes and people killing their parents and people literally, this was a good parent. Yeah. And sometimes they're just bad children.
Or even taking them to those homes so that they can control everything.
That they do, yeah. They're like, you know what?
Because I say that there's something that's very close to home. I can't even talk about it here.
But you've had such a situation where the children are like,
this podcast.
children decide, you know what?
Yeah.
Mom, dad.
Sensitive. Where?
It's time for you to go. Yeah. And that's just, unfortunately, the reality.
The way it is.
Yeah, so I hope this little discussion of ours has given you some insight. Let's not abandon our parents. Let's do what we can, because they did what they could for us. And I know for me, my relationship with my mom is practically very good. Practically very good. And I'm happy. I'm happy you've told me what you'd want for yourself, and I've told you what my option would be. So once we get there, at least we'll have the different options that we have. So thank you so much for listening, guys.
Asanteni sana.
We'll see you, or you'll hear us on the next one. Also, a reminder, this is available as a YouTube video and a podcast. In case you want to see our beautiful faces, our channel is Perspective. And if you want to hear us anywhere, any podcast, it's going to be Perspective, which is going to be linked on all platforms down in the description. You'll find all the information. That's for Instagram.
Okay. Now Lisa too.
But for those of us who are on YouTube, here are all our social media platforms. You can reach out to us through perspective.mdc on Instagram. If you have any topics you want us to discuss, if there's a story you want us to talk about that has happened to you, you can send it to us through there, or you can send it directly to one of us. My Instagram is at KitKendy.
Mine is Judy_W_Job.
It's here on the screen or linked down in the description, guys. Clearly, she's still a mom.
You can, clearly. You can just send us anything you would want our perspective on.
Exactly.
Like anything. We are open to discuss anything. Actually, anything. Just throw it at us,
give our perspective,
and we'll give our thoughts on it. So, and remember, it's our thoughts on it.
So that was it from us, guys. The article and the video mentioned will be linked down in the description as well. You can find and listen for yourself and listen to the whole story. I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.
Peace.